Okay, I think we're ready. Okay. Hey, Dunkers. Good evening, rather. Okay, so 40 cent spread on Grnd. I managed to get the previous little pop, so I'm kind of looking at, what's this one? 23.50. Put a little line there. Yeah. Managed to get, so put it on the 5 minute, you can see I managed to get this pop here, this bounce here. Managed to get the 4K I lost earlier on that one. So that was 25.50. They're looking at 23.50. So we're looking for a reversal there on Grnd. Alternatively, we're just looking for something else to start moving. It is the biggest mover to the downside today. All right. Okay. So we're $7 up on the day. I don't know what that was, but I think I've got a ghost in my kitchen. Ah, okay. I see you. Let's see what's moving today. That's just having a bit of a bounce. Moving back up, way below the VWAP. So I'm kind of a little bit not overly convinced with this one. Let's see. How are we doing on YouTube, guys? No, I traded Grnd, but I called that out in the Discord, Alistair. I called Grinder out in the Discord. I said it's bouncing at 22.50s, and it did. And that's where I made the money. Then I I actually went and had a nap, if I'm being honest. I'm an old man. I went and had a nap. I had something to eat. Put the Wales game on and fell asleep. I just woke up about 10 minutes ago. I'm like, oh shit. Oh shoot. I better I promised to have a power hour. So here I am, a power hour. So we basically just traded. The only thing we've traded since the early stream is Grnd again, and I'm kind of looking at that right now. A potential reversal. If we can get over 23.50s, I think we're at the races. I think we might have bottomed out at $21. 20.75 or just $21, the $21 range. Anything else moving right now? Oh, C-Star Medical or ICU is moving. It's trying to reverse, which is what I'm looking at now. Had a bit of a shoot up. This is the top mover in terms of the last 10-15 minutes to the upside. 9 Energy to the downside, looking for a reversal on 9 Energy. It's back above the VWAP. Bit of a bounce, sold off hard pre-market. Sold off, look at this on the 15-minute. So this sold off hard on the pre-market, tried to bounce. The key level here now is up here, 840. Gets up above at 840. There's a potential there, but we'll see. So I'm just looking at the movers. There's some good movement today. There really is. Art Beam. Beat up at 380s. So this is Heartbeam. Had a good day today. Moving well, just not great volume. So this is probably why I'm not going to trade it, is the lack of volume. But it's moved well. It moved from kind of 318 or whatever it was, 316 all the way up to 380. Steady climbs all day. Right, let's go through cardio diagnostics. Very choppy at the moment sideways. Had its pop up, it moved up to 280s. Not really the kind of level I want to be trading, but traded Sotera Health. Again, held most of its gains, but below the VWAP. I'm trying to see if this is going to have a bit of a Pax Medica. Yeah, interesting. So, Sotera Health. There's more, at the moment, there's more selling than there is gaining. So, this one at 250s, which is cardio diagnostics. It's a hard sell-off. From 280 down to 250, a 30-cent sell-off. Nwtn just sideways at the moment. This is its 6th day of trading, but this is 5 consecutive green days. But it's on its way back now. Most of its gains today were all pre-market, so really needs to get over this kind of 670 level up here. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I mean, considering there were so many people wanted me to have a power hour stream, there's not much chat in the old Tuber view. Let me know, can you see everything on YouTube, guys? Yeah, give me a hell yeah if you are watching on YouTube and you're enjoying yourself. You're having a good day. Give me an oh dear if you're not, if you're losing money. Just let me know if you're I don't know about bated breath, but we'll see. Alistair, have you got me? How many different channels are you watching? Are you watching on Twitch and YouTube and Twitter as well? It's all the snoring. The snoring's the girl behind me. He's she came and had a cuddle on the sofa a little bit earlier, which was nice. So I'm kind of struggling to find something good to trade right now. But this is the case. I mean, whenever we're trading pre-market, we're waiting for the volume, and it's not always there. Same thing with power hour. We very rarely trade after hours, and I probably won't be. Well, I know I won't be doing it today, not unless there is something just pops up and continues it after hours. All the snoring, yeah, absolutely, Pharaoh. She is. Yo, what are you holding bags for? Please tell me you're not holding Grnd. Good stuff, Scott. That's what we like to hear. But I'll keep an eye on Nwtn. I'm just kind of looking at what else is moving right now. I'm looking at what I can stick on my 2-minute watch list charts or thumbnail charts. I think somebody was in the Discord called it, but not seeing anything moving right now. ONCS. Okay, so this is breaking up. 480. It's pulling back again. So that was a good 50-cent move to the upside, and then pull back. So it's just the one volume candle. Can't really trade that, but certainly worth keeping an eye on. This gapped up. Hang on a minute. On the daily, we're now reaching the highs from its original gap up. I think it was a reverse stock split up at 510. That would have been back on the 9th. So ICU just pulling back. Got the $quarter level. 525 is an important level. If it gets over 525, it could be back at the races. But right now, that's that resistance level. It was resistance earlier in the day. It's showing to be resistance again. So 525. I'll just put a nice horizontal there for all of us to see. That level. You get over that. It's actually slightly that range of the $quarter. So I see you up at. I don't know what the. Let me have a quick look at what the catalyst is on ICU for you there, yo. No, I'm not seeing one. Not seeing any specific catalyst for its move up today with C-Star. It did pop up nice, but I'm not seeing any specific catalyst for it. I can't see anything. A couple of things on last Monday, but nothing significant. 30, just over 31 million shares in total. Floats slightly less. Grnd still selling off. I would have loved to have been able to short Grnd today, but with the spreads the way they are and it being on the on the short sale restriction, I just couldn't. Again, this is moving up, but the volume's too low for me. So this is Tenaya Therapeutics. We looked at this last week when it moved up big, but on the gap down heavily on Thursday, sold off hard after hours on Wednesday, gap down on Thursday. So probably not something I want to trade. Halted. Volatility halt. Credit Suisse. Anybody know anything about Credit Suisse? Strange old one. We'll see. Where do I see the stock market in the next year or two? Oh, all-time highs again. For sure. Dunkers. Not saying that's going to happen in the next 6 months, but certainly in the next 2 years, I see it breaking highs again. It's all cyclical. Bear markets, bull markets, range markets. It's all cyclical. What we'll get is a bit of a sideways chop after this bear market concludes, and I think we're not far off the bottom of the bear market. If the bottom isn't already in, it possibly could be. Let's have a look at the SPY and the markets as a whole. But let's look at this on the daily, shall we? Yeah, I think the bottom could be in at 350. I think a little bit of chop between 350 and 400 now, sideways on the SPY, up and down for a while. And then we'll go on to make all-time highs again later in the year. Oh, next year rather. Back up towards 500. We'll see. I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first person. Wouldn't be the first time. But on the weekly, we've got a lovely W shape. From a technical perspective, that suggests bullishness on the market. So it suggests a nice little choppy move up, of course, but that's a move up all the same. We'll see. So that's just my opinion. Just the meanderings of a fat bloke on the internet. I'll have a look at Blue Apron. Blue Apron. Ah. Up for a squeeze? What? It's just barcoding right now. There's no range. I mean, it's got plenty of volume, but there's no range. There's no volatility in Blue Apron at all. I mean, we're talking a range less than a cent. ATR less than a cent, so you can't track that. There's just not enough range in it. Ooh. And we get $7 here. That's the question. Between the spreads right now, Blue Apron, I wouldn't. The offering's closed. Sorry, as far as I'm aware, the offering's closed. But yeah, we're still between the spreads here. We've got 15 cents on the spreads, and we're caught right in the middle of it. We're at 73. The ask is 74. So I see you making highs as well. 14 cents on the spread right now. Come on, bring the bid with you. Come on, let's get over $7, but take the bloody bid with you. Can't be doing with this. Up at 680s now on the ask, but we're still caught between the spreads. Maybe I shouldn't have taken this trade in hindsight. I did see the volume coming in. That's where it was. I thought I'll be quick, see the volume coming in, but then the spreads just widened. So we're getting something. You're getting somewhere now. Will we get above the VWAP first? $7? I'm not sure. I'm just gonna get it. Come on, Phil. So how long did that take me to get filled then? That was terrible. At least I got filled at a decent rate. No, I'm not feeling that one. Just an extra $200, why not? It's been low volume for 2 months, buddy. Low volume for the last 2 months. Let's see what else. I can't believe it took me that long to get filled. That's awful. That's what happens when you've got low liquidity stocks and nobody wants to actually buy what you're trying to sell. Any green is good green. Yeah, well, if I can get another $200 today, that'd be nice. 1.5 times daily goal. I'm not going to force it, but we'll see. That's struggling over the VWAP. Well, yo, ICU or C-Star Medical Holdings is trying to move back up again. What scanner do I use? I'm using Benzinga, buddy. So as you can see here, this is Benzinga. Benzinga Pro. Got a trading halt. To the upside. ONCS, nice. This is going to resume at the bottom of the hour. On Cossack. Well, I've got my fingers crossed for you there, buddy. At 5:30s. We'll come back to OnCosec. In fact, I'll put that on the yes, get rid of Coinbase. I'll put that on my other watch list. Some big movers today, and decent volume as well. So ONCS, whilst it's not huge volume, it's good volume. Relatively speaking. 600,000 shares traded today on ONCS. You know, $1.50 away. Yo, so hopefully it'll go in your direction. Well, this is funnily enough, ONCS and ICU are similar levels, so ICU's here also at 530s. So I'll give you a tour of the old Benzinga here if you need me to, guys. It'd be nice to have a 100% green week. What do we say? USA are looking decent in the World Cup. And Senegal without Mane are very ordinary, it seems. Let's have a go back to ONCS. It's halted right now to the upside. But we'll see. Which membership on Benzinga? It's the can't remember what it's actually called, but it's the one without the options. It's priced $177 a month, but I don't pay that. I think I pay $95 a month because I'm a partner with them, and I get a big discount. But you can also get a discount if you're on there. You go for a longer period, you get a bigger discount, obviously. But use my discount code and you'll get at least 35% off. If you go for the monthly option, you get more if you go for the quarterly, and even more if you go for the annual. And that's Benzinga. And I recommend Benzinga. Really do. It's, I mean, the scanners are great, but there's more to it, much more to it than that. The level of detail that you can get, the information that you can get from... Awesome. 44, so 30 seconds from resumption on this. I'm getting a $6 resumption. That's a huge gap up. That's a 60-cent gap up. That can't be right. Now I'm looking at... No, 20-cent gap up. So I'm going to... on the bid, it's 567. It's halted at 539. But on the bid, I've got 567, 570 on the ask. So we're looking at, actually, it's coming back down again now. Right, 570. So it looks like it's going to gap up about 15, 20 cents, I would say. Oh, it resumed sideways. Go figure. Looking for movement to the upside. Yeah. 10 cents. There's a trailing 10 cents. Stop. There we go. ATR is 25 cents. That 10 cents is I'm going to get stopped out. That's way too tight. ATR 25 cents. There we go. I'm going to get stopped out right here. So maybe that was quick 250 bucks there. So I'm over 1.5 times goal now. What stock am I looking at? BKS at the moment. Oncosec Medical. So this is Oncosec Medical. I don't like that upwick though. I do like the downwick and the little hangman there, but I don't like the upwick. I'm not seeing a catalyst for today. Last catalyst was last Wednesday on Oncosec. had encouraging early data for Opdivo combined immunotherapy for skin cancer. That was a good catalyst last week. I didn't react to it last week, though. That's the problem with it. It's a very small float. This is something that Dave called out in the... Dave, are you on the stream? Did you call this one out? Yes, you are. Did you call this... Yeah, of course I remember you from earlier. Did you call this one out in the Discord earlier there, Dave? ONCS? Or was it OCS that you... ICU that you called out? I can't remember. I don't know what I'm looking at till tomorrow, until tomorrow comes, BKS. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of they'll get news dropped overnight, and that will account for volatility. You'll get movers after hours. You'll get movers in the morning, and what will when I come to trade at 7:30 market time, so it's 12:30 my time. Then I'll be looking at what are the gappers, what's the catalyst, what are the news stories, and then I'll look to be riding momentum. Where do I find the news? Benzinga. Benzinga, the same as I've just told Tournaman on YouTube. Benzinga. What's easier? Stocks and shares or Forex? Stocks and shares by a long stretch. Forex is a mug's game, in my opinion. Why? Because think about Forex. The changes between a Forex pair, you're looking at, it's almost like futures in terms of you're looking at small percentage changes. So if you're looking at those small percentage changes, in order to take advantage, you need huge leverage. So in Forex, it's not uncommon to be getting with a Forex broker that they're giving you 150, 120, 150, or even 200 times leverage. So you can utilize the changes, the incremental changes in those Forex pairs, very small, minute changes. With that leverage, the more leverage that you've got, then the more risk that you're introducing to your trade. So that's... Yeah, the market opens at 2:30 in the UK. It opens, that's the regular market. So pre-market for me, the pre-market is from 4 a.m. From 4 a.m. till 9:30 market time. So I'm allowed to trade from 7:30 market time, 2 hours before the market opens, which is why I start live streaming 90 minutes before the market opens there at BKS. So this is now a sell-off, and I saw the indicators. I liked this indicator here. I liked the hangman. It's a very bullish candle, but it was followed by this this upwick here. So that was my cue to just get out, and that's a reversal indicator, and it reversed. You've got to be able to spot the indicators, in particular the reversal indicators, and treat them as you would. Spot the reversal indicators and get out when that's the case. Then you need a broker. If you want to trade pre-market BKS, you need a broker that facilitates that. So Interactive Brokers facilitates it. In the UK, you can't have an account and day trade with Interactive unless you've got $25,000 in your account. The same if with Speed Trader. The broker that I recommend for day trading, excuse me, in the UK, particularly because for small accounts, is Capital Markets. Now, you will get charged commissions, so just be wary of that. So that every transaction that you take, every trade that you take, needs to account for the commissions as well, and the transaction fees. So you really realistically need to be making what, 25, 30 bucks per trade in order to account for those transactions and fees, etc. As a minimum, because it's going to cost you like $10 each way, depending on the size that you're looking at, between $5 and $10 each way. If you're smaller, it'd actually be less if you're trading smaller, because the ECM fees won't be as big. But Still, you want to be making at least $30 per trade. So think of it that way. Yeah, so we're getting a bit of a sell-off now. So only one trading power hour so far. It's profitable, 250 bucks. It's actually, what did happen to Disney today? Disney sold off hard. It's back under $100. $10,000 for Baron, yeah, you can do that. 10,000. I'd say minimum of the more that you've got, and the lower your expectations, the easier it'll be. Because if you want to make 200 bucks a day, for example, and you've got $100,000 account, that's you know, we're talking minuscule amounts. You've just got to be able to get in a momentum stock going one way, and then you can get out again quickly, and you've made it. So it's relatively easy. The more you have, money makes money. But if you've got $10,000, yes, you can day trade with 10,000. You can day trade with 5,000. Anything less than 5,000, you can do it, but it becomes more difficult. You have to be like a sniper. You have to be very accurate with your trade selection. So, well, if you've got the money but you just don't know how to trade, my advice to you, BKS, is learn to use the money to learn to trade first. Do not put money into a brokerage until you've learned to trade first. Get yourself a subscription to a simulator with real-time data. Pay for some education. Get yourself a mentor. Just learn how to get yourself a strategy that works, and practice in a simulator first. Do it for 6, 8, 12 weeks. Make sure you've got a consistent level of results. Use a journal, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet or whether it's what I do, a professional journal like TraderView. Do all that so you can analyze your trades as well. You can look at what you're doing wrong. You can actually improve on that. But more importantly, practice in a simulator. It's the muscle memory of trading that's important. Yes, I do mentor. I've got a Discord. I've got the course. I've got. If you go into the link tree that's in my profile there, BKS. If you go into my link tree, then you'll see that there's a link. A link in my profile to Linktree. I'll show you. Why not? I'll just show you quickly what I'm talking about, and that way you can see it. So I'll show everybody what I'm talking about, just for the benefit of everybody. So this is Benzinga. Okay. So first and foremost, people were asking me, where do I find stocks to trade? So this is Benzinga. This is where I find my stocks to trade, and ONCS was moving up. This is momentum. These are the scanners. It tells me in real time what's moving based on this and the news that's coming out in real time, etc. This is Benzinga. These are stocks that that's the scanners I use to trade. Now, you go to my link tree. So the link tree is the TikTok trader there, BKS. If you go to this, and you click on the second link down, which is the first one's a merchandise by popular request, but the second link down is Day Trade with Tony. If you click on that, it brings you to this course here, which will teach you how to trade. Okay, so it will give you the knowledge to be able. There's no guarantees of profitability, simply but for the fact that you have to be disciplined enough to stick to the strategy. You have to be disciplined enough to actually execute, and wait, and patient enough and wait for and manage your risk accordingly. So if you go to this link here, which is the Day Trade with Tony, the full syllabus. Now, if you want to go to YouTube, if you're on YouTube, you can stay on YouTube and watch the Introduction to Trading video. It's a little over an hour long. It's the first lecture on the Day Trade with Tony's trading course. But you can get that for free. See if that makes it helps you make sense of anything. It's a good, no frills, lay speak introduction to trading. Get yourself a copy of TradingView. and start practicing marking out areas of support and resistance. If you don't know what areas of support and resistance are, basically support is areas that are significant where price action finds it difficult to go below, and resistance is areas that are significant where price action finds it difficult to go above. So get yourself a copy of TradingView and start practicing that, marking out horizontal lines on TradingView where the support and resistance. That's the basis for all technical trading. The whole syllabus here that you'll learn on this BKS is all here. Risk management, and risk management is probably the first most important thing in day trading. It's the second most important thing in day trading, but then the third most important thing in day trading is risk management. So just so you're saying, so every lesson has a mention of risk management because it is extremely important. Stock selection. What I'm looking for in stocks before I actually take a trade with them. How to set up my charts. What I'm looking for. What are the triggers in terms of entry points? What are the exit indicators once I'm in a trade? What are windows in terms of recognizing the windows of opportunity and price action? Intraday chart patterns. What am I looking for in the setups? You hear me talking about double tops, double bottoms, head and shoulders, or inverted head and shoulders, cup and handles. You'll hear me talking about flat tops and ascending wedges and all this kind of stuff. These are intraday chart patterns that I look for to trade, and they all either break upwards or break downwards. Very key information. The strategy that I use now. I've just posted on TikTok today. I'll be posting my trade recaps later. The gap and go, which was one that I used today, very effective. We've not been getting many gap and goes, but we got one today, which was great. Which was what was the stock? Satira Health was a gap and go trade today. And that's just one of the strategies. It's probably my favorite strategy, but because we've not been getting that follow through on a lot of the momentum stock from pre-market, it's been difficult to find them. Stock scanning. So going back to yourself, Tona, Benzinga is what I use, and there's a whole bunch of videos from Benzinga that I'm using on this course. But I've got my own stock scanning, how I set up my stocks, my scanners as well with Benzinga. Very important, the psychological aspect. This is probably the single most important thing after risk management, is the psychology of trading. If you can't control your emotions, if you're trading too big, your emotions are going to get a bit beyond you. And if you can't control your emotions in a trade, you're going to make harsh decisions and you'll end up losing money. So trade management, controlling your emotions and the psychology of that. Bit more technical in terms of how to use hotkeys, hot buttons, level 2, etc. If you plan on trading full time as a business, what you need to know about that. I'm not going to go into the tax aspects. Get yourself a good, because it's regional dependent as well. But get yourself a good CPA and make sure that you're paying your taxes, because they will come after you. I found out that myself. Again, advanced technical indicators, particularly for reversals, is where I find advanced technical indicators a bit more useful. So like the Bollinger Bands, RSI, MACD, those kind of technical indicators, usually very good for reversals, this time of day in particular. Options trading. If you don't know what options are, there's an introduction to options trading as well. So this is, as I say, the course, and with this course you get access to the Discord, and in the Discord is where I do the mentoring as well. So I will go back to the charts now. And then we'll continue with the conversation, and if there's any action to be had, we'll continue with the trading. Okay, $150 a month BKS. It's how much is that course? It's $150 a month. Now, if you want to stick around for as long as you want, you can cancel after 1 month. You can cancel after a couple of days if you want. If you're not happy with it after a couple of days, just let me know. I'll give you your money back, and that goes for anybody. But if you want to take that, be my guest. You'll be welcome in the community, but you'll be welcome on the Discord. And quite frankly, Everybody that's joined so far has usually stayed for 2 or 3 months as a minimum. Most, I've got people that are still with me that have taken the course, are still holding the course for, well, since March, April, when I first launched it. So what do I think of Tesla right now? I think they've got an absolute clown as a CEO. Is that what I think of Tesla right now? Tesla's great. The problem is you've got too many fanboys lauding onto Elon's every word, and the guy's a space cadet. I'm not saying he's not smart, but he's a trust fund baby. Let's face it, he's not self-made. People think Elon's self-made billionaire. He's not. He's a trust fund baby. That he got lucky with his PayPal business. And look, the guy, he is smart. He knows what he's doing, but he's completely spaced out at the best of times. There's a fine line between genius and insanity, and he walks it very, very tightly. But when you think about Tesla, one of the reasons that Tesla as a car manufacturer, as an EV manufacturer, did so well is because they stole the march on everybody. When all the other companies were basically dismissing electric vehicles and electric engines and the likes, opting more for hybrids and things like that, he went all in on it and stole the march. The problem that Tesla have right now, and don't get me wrong, Teslas are nice cars, but they're not that nice. If you've ever been in a Tesla, if you ever tried having a look around a Tesla and compare it to the bigger vehicle manufacturer's equivalent now, it's not even at the races. You know, a BMW, an EV BMW is far better than any Tesla. Tesla, the build quality is shoddy. Seriously, it's seriously shoddy. As the charge points and charging networks for other car manufacturers expands and they catch up with Tesla, as an EV company, Tesla's going to be struggling in 5 years' time. That's my opinion of Tesla. That's not financial advice, but that's my opinion. No, I totally agree with you, Flip Joe. I think I wouldn't hold Tesla long term. I've shorted Tesla so many times and got burned. Every time I try trading options on Tesla, I get burned. Whether I go long, whether I buy puts or calls, I get burned on Tesla. For whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to like me. So I'm not taking options with Tesla again. No, the BKS, anybody that trades on one technical indicator is a losing trader. I guarantee it. You can't trade on a single technical indicator. Why? Because they're all lagging indicators. They're all it's doing, the RSI, the MACD, Bollinger Bands, the VWAP, EMAs, whatever it is, all they're doing is telling you the price action that's gone on before. Now, while the market doesn't actually repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So from a pattern perspective, you can actually get that. So if you're trading with using RSI for confirmation, and you're trading using the RSI as part of a wider strategy, then it can be a very useful technical indicator. If you're using the RSI alone, you're going to lose because the market will not adhere to it. And the same thing with EMAs or just standard moving averages. The same thing with any other lagging technical indicator. There's only two indicators really that are not lagging. That's the volume profiles and the price action. And the volume profiles here. So you're looking at the volume of as it's coming in, it's changing. Price action, as it's coming in, it's changing. So the candles are changing as it. So that's real time information. So you're not going to get anything that predicts the market effectively. A lot of these algorithmic bots that say don't pay for a subscription to any algorithmic bot that claims, you know, success rates of stupidness or whatever, they don't work. I've tried them. Trust me, they don't work. The high frequency traders are not predicting. The reason they're successful is they're not predicting. So these are the bots that on Wall Street, they're not trying to predict the price action. The high frequency traders are based on triggers, and they're doing exactly what it says on the tin. High frequency trading. They're getting in and out very, very quickly before the price action has time to even react to what those are doing. So, but the high frequency traders account for about 65% of all volume on the stock market. So I don't use Brian. I don't use a site. My platform tells me. So my platform tells me directly what my halt levels are. So I've got on my montage, which is the area that I'm using to set buy and sell orders and things. I've got a little section that says LD, LU, and that's just level down and level up. And on my montage, those are the halt levels. What is the best way to trade? In my opinion, there isn't one. Quite frankly, there isn't a best way to trade. So I know people that are reversal specialists. They look for something that's really extended. They won't trade momentum like I do. They look for something that's really extended and starting to slow down, and then they'll trade the reversal. They'll look for the signs of extension, the signs of exhaustion, and they'll trade the reversal. So that's one strategy. It can be quite a profitable strategy. There are people that will only trade short. And again, they're looking for stocks that have got big moves up intraday, and then towards the end of the days when they would like to trade, when it starts to then start moving in the opposite direction. There's a number of different strategies. I wouldn't say there is one best way to trade, simply for the fact that it depends on your personality type as well. I like to have the 1 minute chart here. But I don't recommend it for everybody. It can be quite volatile. I've also, next to it, I've got the 2 minute chart and the 5 minute chart. So I've got multiple time frames open at any one time that I'm trading a stock. And I wouldn't recommend what someone says, what's the best time frame to trade on? There isn't one. It depends on your own personal, here we go, Newton's moving back up again. It depends on your own personal trading style, and again, with regards to your aptitude for risk, or whether you can tolerate the volatility of the lower time frames. So you might not be comfortable with a 1, 2, or 5. You might be a 15 minute or a 30 or an hourly. You might be better off swing trading. Swing trading might be better for you than day trading. I think swing trading probably is a little bit easier than day trading, but for me, not as profitable. So there's a number of different ways I would do it. Yes, so TD Ameritrade. So Think or Swim will tell you. We'll be able, and Webull will be able to tell you what the halt levels are. It's on the software itself. Again, there is no best combo of indicators. I like to keep my charts fairly clean. Because I'm trading intraday, there's only one indicator I have on all my charts, the lower time frame chart. So it's the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. Now, if you've got on a platform, if you're with a broker or a platform that's not got the VWAP, don't day trade on it. That's my advice there. If it's not got a VWAP, it's not set up for day trading. So VWAP is the volume weighted average price. It's this blue line here that we've just crossed for Newton, and it's an extremely powerful indicator that tells you the trend. It's intraday indicator. It tells you the trend that a stock is moving. If the price action like this is below the VWAP, then it's actually trending downwards. If the price action is above the VWAP, it's trending upwards. If the price action like here is above and below, it's ranging across it, then it's trending sideways. Another indicator with using the VWAP is that if it's horizontal, pretty much like it is right now with Newton, it's usually because the price action is trading sideways. Now, if I zoom out with this, you can see that the price action is trading sideways overall. So it moved up, then it's moved down, but then it's been moving sideways for the last couple of hours. And that's what the VWAP's telling me. It's a great trend indicator from an intraday perspective. So the VWAP's really all I need from an intraday trend perspective. Now, I might look at other areas for support, resistance levels. I'm looking at a volatile stock that's adhering to the likes of the 9 EMA or the 20 EMA. I don't hold a lot of weight in EMA crossovers for exit indicators, but I will look for those crossovers as confirmation of the direction the price action is taking. Is what a double bottom? A double bottom on Nwtn? No, I wouldn't say it's a double bottom. I'll say this is more of a... There's no double bottom. I can't see a double bottom there anywhere. But we're getting an ascending wedge into a flat top at 720 with Nwtn. That's what I'd say that was. Oh, this move up, you could say it's a flag, which is very similar. Flip Jug, I wouldn't disagree with you about shorting Tesla in the long term. Right, what's Nwtn? This is the top momentum stock right now, is Nwtn. It needs to break over 720 for me, but some big sellers on the 15-minute chart, on the 15-minute scans. It's just Q rate moving up, so we're not really seeing a lot of movement to the upside. Q rate and Nwtn being the top ones. Q rate loads, very low volume, so can't really trade on the volume. And again, if you're going to get it, so as the strategies that I teach, a couple of the criteria, I'll cover some of them off. You need volume and you need volatility. The volatility gives you the range, and ATR, the average true range, you can plot it on your chart and it'll tell you what the average true range is. So that's the average range of a bunch of candles that in the time frame that you're looking at, and that will give you an indication of what the volatility is. It'll also give you an indication of what you should be setting your stops and take profits at, just as a measure. It's not essential. It's not essential, but I've put it on my. I've got my ATR map down here. I don't look at the actual graph of the ATR. The ATRs here, it's the numbers that I'm looking at. So on Nwtn right now, the market's just closed, by the way. So the Nwtn right now, the ATR is 12 cents. So that means that the average size of the candles is 12 cents. So basically what I would say there, if you're conservative, then you might put a stop. When you take a position, you might put a stop half of the ATR, like 6 cents in that situation, and you might have a take profit at the ATR, which would be 12 cents. So you can take in profit once it moves 12 cents to the upside if you're going long. Or if you're a little bit more risk tolerant, you might have your stop at the ATR, which is 12 cents below, and you're looking for a 25-cent move. Similar kind of 2-to-1 risk reward ratio there. But you're going to be holding, if you're looking for a 25 cents move on an ATR of 12 cents, then you're going to be holding it a little bit longer, because it's likely to take 2 or 3 candles to get there. So it's going to be 2 or 3 minutes. If you're going to be holding it short term, then you want to be looking for quick gains and narrow risk. So yeah, enjoy your evening there, Alistair. I'll catch you tomorrow. You know what time I'm on, 90 minutes before the market opens, so that's 12:30. I'll be starting here. No, 1 p.m. I'll be starting here. I'm able to trade from 12:30. I'll be starting Get Live again. So let's go back to Benzinga, shall we? Let's go back to my laptop screen, and I'll give you all a quick tour, because I'm not ready to end the stream just yet. I'm going to give you a quick tour of Benzinga right now, guys. So a lot of people are asking me what I use to find stocks, okay? And this is what my desktop looks like, pretty much on a daily basis. So when I come in the morning or in the afternoon, I have my lunch and what have you, and before I set up, I had my lunch. Then 12 o'clock, I come to my desk. So 12 o'clock because I'm 5 hours ahead of the market. So this would have been approximately 7 o'clock market time. So I'll come to my desk and I'll open my Benzinga scanners and I'll start looking for stocks that are actually moving. So this, as I say, this is my Benzinga scanners. I'll set it up this way. So I've got my gap scanner here. This tells me, so that right now, I'll just change these over to after hours. So after hours. So on these scanners, you can see here, I've got pre-market. So normally I would set this at pre-market. First thing in the morning, it's pre-market hours. So I'd set it to pre-market. When the bell goes, I switch it over to regular session. After hours, if I want to be trading after hours, I'm not going to be trading after hours, but I can do that. I can look for the gainers and just gainers. I can look for losers and just losers. I'm going to set this to after hours gainers right now, okay? So any momentum that we get to the upside, we'll see it. So I open this one, and this one is based on the session. So you can see here the time frame, the period, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, session, okay? So I've got all of these things that I'm looking at. I also set volume here. Now in the regular session, I changed this and it goes to a million shares traded. In the out of hours session, I want it 25k, okay, because the volume and the liquidity in the out of hours session is much lower, okay. So that gives me a lot more there. And the same thing here, it's just on the 15-minute session. I'm going to set this to after hours, and then you can see here volume 25k, exactly the same thing, okay. So those are the filters that I use on my scanners. Right now I don't need to worry about the 15-minute because this is giving me everything I need to see right now in the after hours. Okay, now here I've got what's known as the beta scanner, which is real time. As you can see here, it refreshes in real time. So whenever there's a change and it meets my criteria, so over the last 5 minutes, the volume has to be over 10,000 shares. The price has to be above $2 because I don't trade. That's just my own personal preference. I'm not saying you can't trade stocks that are less than $2. My personal preference, my strategy, for me, I don't trade the low price stocks. I just find it a bit choppy. They're prone to manipulation, so I don't trade them. So this is what I'm using here is my bait, and this throughout the day doesn't change. The things, the criteria doesn't change. What this does, it gives me a good indication of where the momentum is because it's changing as well. Dell's got earnings, by the way, which is why that's popping up on the list. Down here, I've got signals. Okay, so this is the signals. I'll just click on this, get rid of those two scanners. This again is the same scanner, but it's here I've got the signals. So here I can set this for price spikes. So price spikes basically when something moves up or down in a particular direction over a 1 minute period, and that gives me the price spikes. I can do block trades. I can set halt and resumptions. Now this doesn't work. The halt and resumptions doesn't work in the out of hours sessions because there are no SEC halts. So halt and resumptions, volatility, news, whatever, it doesn't matter. You'll still get notifications of halt and resumes, but you're probably only going to get halts pending news or halts pending investigation. You're not going to get volatility halts in the out of hours sessions. Then we've got here, we can put the opening gap. I don't use that because I've got the scanners that tell me where the opening gap is. Here on the highs, I can set it to session high. I can set it to 52-week high, so it reaches an annual high. I get notifications there. I've got it to day high series. So what's a day high series? It reaches the high and then breaks the high more than once. That's a day high series. I can do exactly the same for lows, but I'm long biased, so I'm looking for highs. If I'm looking to go short, I'll set that to lows. Here I've got the news ticker, okay? So here I've got the rolling news ticker. You can see Dell's just released its earnings there, and it's actually a beat. Doesn't surprise me, I used to work for them. Urban Outfitters just released their earnings, but it's a miss. So earnings coming out, it's not, we're kind of coming to the out towards the end of earnings season, but this is how I've got my Benzinga scanner set up. And this is what it looks like on a daily basis. For me, this is what I'm looking like all day. This is one of my screens that I'm looking at. I've got 4 screens. This is one of them. And this is where I'm getting all my ideas of what I want to trade, what's moving, why it's moving, how much it's moving. How do I find that out? Well, I can click on the ticker. So right here, we're on this ticker here. And I say, we've just been talking about Dell. I've just seen in the news here that Dell has got earnings. So that I know already why that's moving. But I can click on Dell and it opens up another window. So that window will instantly bring me to what's known as an overview. So it's a page that gives all of the information. So it gives you headlines at the top. Conference call scheduled for today at 4:30. It's currently 8 minutes past 4 market time right now. So there's conference call scheduled for a little over 20 minutes time. Q3 earnings have already been released because we've just seen them. And this is the overview page, okay? You can, and this is, I say, at the touch of a button. So you've got the chart here. You can put it based on time frame, day, 2 days, 5 days, whatever, year to date, 1 year, 2 years, etc. You can choose your chart time frame. Then you've got the news that's Dell's mentioned. So Dell Technologies in third quarter, should compute hardware stock, etc., etc. And you can scroll down and you can look at historical news as well. Okay. If you want to go, come back to that in a second. Then you've got the price action in text form. The bid and the ask, the previous close, what it opened at, session volume, average volume over the last 3 months. Now, if you take the average volume and you divide it by the session volume, it gives you relative volume. So right now you've got high relative volume. So 3.3 million is the average daily volume. We've already done almost 6 million. So it's a good relative volume, high relative volume compared to the average. You've got float size. Why is the float important? Because the float size is important because that's how many shares are available. The short float as well, or the percentage short interest, if you will. This is how many people are betting against it, that they're actually borrowed the shares and are betting against it, the price going up. They want the price to go down. So this is all very important. You've got the fundamental data. You've got who the competition is, earnings, balance sheet, etc., etc. So this is all at the touch of. You can go into detail in more detail as well. So you've got news here, the news tab. You can just look at all. You can look at the SEC filings. So have they filed any reports with the SEC? You can see here they've got a corporate statement there. You can actually click on that, and it actually shows you the actual SEC form that was submitted by Dell, and you can read through that in real time. So this is Benzinga. This is Benzinga Pro. It was absolutely phenomenal as a tool for trading. It's great. So you've got the news, you've got details, calendar. So I always use this as well. This comes out, you can see straight away today. By default, it opens to earnings. It opens as today's date and it's earnings. You can see what's got earnings today, whether it's before the market, after the market close, or intraday, or when it is. So you can see all of these Urban Outfitters, Agora, Dell, Zoom video communications, all with earnings this evening. You can change that. You can look at, okay, what's the IPO? Are there any IPOs today? Probably not. So let's have a look. Are there any IPOs tomorrow? On the 22nd. We've got one IPO tomorrow. It's Dual on the Nasdaq. The company's Adamas One Corp. So that's likely to launch tomorrow. And you can actually look at the details if you bring that out. What it's going to be priced at. It's probably going to be launch at 450. won't be above $5, etc., etc. All very important. You can look at when analysts are going to be dropping the ratings or anything like this, earnings. If it's a bio stock, you look at FDA. Are there any FDA companies coming out? So FDA approvals due for tomorrow. Let's have a quick look. No, there's no FDA approvals due for tomorrow, or FDA meetings, or whatever it is. Are there any guidance, analyst guidance, mergers and acquisitions, etc., etc.? So all of this is very important information that you can use to your own benefit. You've got ideas here. So if you pull up this is in beta at the moment with Benzinga, but again, it's great. Really is a great great tool. You've got ideas from real legitimate traders telling you, hang on a minute, take a look at this stock, I'm bullish on it, this is why. Whether it's a swing trade, or whether it's a day trade, or whether it's something that they're looking at, and you've got all of these different ideas. Now, what I recommend you do is that you do your own research. By all means, take a look at what they're suggesting and whether it stacks up in terms of the reasons why, and whether it's options or swing trading or day trading or whatever the situation is. And you keep you keep your own judgment on that. Insider information. Let's get rid of that because I want to show you this. So here you've got insiders information. Okay, so again, this is another tool that you can use to your own. Who's buying? Citizens Bank. If I expand that out, it'll tell you who's buying it. So you can actually look at a specific stock in the same way. Okay, so you've got Gerald Shields has just bought Citizens Bank. Okay, you've got Ryan Specialty Holdings. You've got this guy here who works for the company, Michael O'Halloran, and Patrick Ryan, CEO, has bought some more shares. What price? How much? So that tells you if the company has got insiders buying or selling shares. If you've got the CEO selling his shares, it's always a warning sign. If he's buying shares, then he's bullish on his own company. So that's important. Okay, so that's Benzinga. If you want to try that out for yourself, check the link in the description on YouTube. Go to my link tree and try Benzinga. It's free for 14 days. They'll give you 2 weeks for free. You don't need a credit card or anything like that. Just go and check it out for 14 days. Use your email address. You can, if you're not in the US, then you might not get a text message, so you'll just have to wait for their email for it to go live. But it's really good. I recommend it. I use it every single day to find stocks to trade and find out why it's moving, how much it's moving, the volume versus etc., etc. So check it out. And we've got $7,500 in profit today. So let's have a look at my journal quickly. Where did I leave it yesterday? Off the top of my bonds, 90,000, 90,500. So that put me on 98,000. I'll import my trades in shortly for the trade recap video that I'll be doing in the next hour or so. But that put me at 98,000. That means I'm 2K off my monthly goal in November. Thank you, LGBTQ community. Thank you, Grnd, because I'd still be way off it, but for Grnd last week. Now, in terms of where I'm finishing today, I did take a trade this morning with Grnd, and I let it play out. It lost me for just over $4,000. Then I traded it again later and made most of it back. So Grnd here is just under $260 down on the day, and let's have a quick look at the market. So yeah, so I'm 7,578 in profit today. The largest part of that has come from our friends over at Satura Health. And we've got the next after that one was Nwtn, and there were a couple of other small ones. We lost money on Grnd and ELP companion. I'll call it ELP. I don't know how to pronounce that. We made money on Disney and Oncosec as well. Small base hits with those, but two really good trades with Nwtn and Sotera. What I'll do is, if you're watching on TikTok, you can go into my profile. The last two videos I dropped are the Nwtn and Sotera trades from this morning. It's basically a replay of, a little bit edited for time, but it's a replay of the trades. Now, if you were watching live, you would have seen it live, so no problem there. But it's a replay of the trades that I took this morning. And I'll be dropping those again. That'll be on the YouTube as well, so you'll be able to watch it again on the YouTube trade recap later. So in the meantime, I'm going to head off. I'm going to have a nice cup of tea. I'm going to catch up on the 1-1 Wales game, and I will drop the trade recap video in about an hour or so. I'll be back at it tomorrow, so come join me tomorrow, 90 minutes before the market opens. So if you're in the US or Canada, it's going to be 8 a.m. market time, so like 8 a.m. East Coast, or New York, or whatever it is. It's going to be 1 p.m. here in Ireland. It's 1 p.m. in the UK as well, 2 p.m. on the continent of Europe. If you live anywhere else, I know there's somebody that joins from Australia occasionally, probably asleep right now, but I'm actually getting up in the morning right now. But if you're anywhere else, work out your own time zones. As I say, 90 minutes before the market opens. I'm allowed to trade from 2 hours before the market opens. So if I'm in a trade, it's because there's been something moving with a good catalyst. But I start streaming live, and I stream my trades live 90 minutes before the market opens. So come join me. I'm constantly talking about trading. I'm constantly talking about the strategies I use, why I'm taking trades. So the whole purpose of this channel, or these channels, is to educate traders and to help you guys learn how to trade in the same way as I learned how to trade. If you want it all condensed and mentorship, then just hop on the Day Trade with Tony course, and you can join the Discord. You'll get access to, it's a private Discord for Day Trade with Tony students, but you'll get access to that as well if you want access to that. So in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to go and have a gin and tonic. Will Grnd go back up? It's an IPO, so you know your guess is as good as mine. But let's have a quick look at it before I jump off. It's selling off right now. It's not reached the lows of where it started. It's still, the thing is with Grnd is it's had 2 days of trading. It's still not found its FMV. FMV is market speak. It's fair market value. So it's still not found its fair market value. It started on Friday. It launched at 1690. So it's now 1970. It went up as high as over $70. It went up to 71.50s. So it's not done that on big volume. That's what I would say with regards to Grnd. It's a very volatile stock right now, and it will continue to be volatile. You'll get moves up, big moves down, until it finds its fair market value. Once it finds its fair market value, it'll then start to plateau, and the volatile moves will only then start to happen when it has a catalyst. IPOs tend to be like that. Sometimes you'll get an IPO that will moon and it will stay high because it launched at below fair market value. Sometimes you'll get an IPO that launches at above fair market value and it plummets and stays low. But more often than not, an IPO will be quite volatile in its first couple of days until it finds its fair market value and what most of the market believes it's worth, and then it starts to plateau at that level. And the only time it differs from there is when it has a specific catalyst, or if it's trading with the market and the market has a catalyst and the market's moving either up or down. So just watch. If you're stuck up at 50, who knows, what are you doing, buddy? If there's one thing, if there's one thing that you should have learned from me, it's do not hold bags. Put your losses at the earliest opportunity. Okay, so does Benzinga show the session volume as a percentage of the float anywhere? No, it doesn't. But you can work that out fairly quickly. because if you go into Benzinga and you click on the actual open I'll pull this. Excuse me. Let's have a look. Let me have a quick look as to where the easiest way to do that actually is. So if you go onto the overview page, and you scroll down on the overview page, you get the key data right there, right in front of you, and you've got the session volume right next to the flow. So yes, it does have it. So in the overviews, yes, I can show that on screen right away. Just bear with me 1 second, and I'll show that for you guys on YouTube. Okay, so this is who have I just clicked on? I don't know. So just Agilent Technologies. You click. I'll just get rid of this. Okay, and I'll just click on Agilent Technologies right now. Okay, so this opens this up, and it opens it up to the overview page. As you scroll down, the first thing you see is the chart. The next thing you see is the news. But if you keep scrolling down, it's got all the key data and the quotes. So the quotes, you've got session volume. At this moment, session volume 1.6 million. Right next to it, you've got float size. You've got float. You've got short float percentage, etc., etc. So it doesn't actually show it as a percentage of the float volume, but you can see quite quickly from your own mental gymnastics what that actually is, because it's right next to each other. So you can work that out yourself very, very quickly. If you've got, like me, you're relatively decent at back of the beer at maths, as it were. Where's my cursor? Here we go. So I hope that helps you, Flipjug. No worries, buddy. So risk management is key here. So I'll put on. Don't worry about it. This is something. It's one of the hardest things to do, is get into a losing position that you really believed in, and it goes against you, and cut for a loss. That's one of the hardest things to learn, and one of the hardest things to get used to doing is cutting for a loss. And you've seen me holding longer than I should do, and I'm no different from anybody else. I'm prone to it myself. Everybody is. It's human nature. Why is that the case? It's human nature. Human nature tells you that you are right. Your mentality tells you, based on your understanding. Why would you get, if you're exhibiting a strategy, if you're trading to a strategy on the stock market, and you're exhibiting or you're trying to follow that strategy, and you're being disciplined around it in terms of your stock selection and trade selection, and you get in, and let's just say we've got a stock in it, and it's a bull. It's moved up well, and it's a beautiful bull flag setup, and you're waiting for it, and we get a breakout, and you enter for the breakout, and then it completely it fakes you out, and it reverses. But it's got a great catalyst, so straight away you think, well, I was just a little bit premature. I'm just going to hold on to it, and then it reverses, and you keep selling off, and it doesn't go back. You cut your trade. You cut it for a loss. The problem is that, and I've done this on so many occasions, is that your emotions tell you that you're right. Your head's telling you that you're right. Forget all that. Stick to the strategy, which is one of the reasons why putting mechanical stops, automatic stops on the chart in the open market is going to help you with your strategy. Because if it reaches that level, it's going to get you out of that trade. It's not reliant on you cutting that trade yourself. So you have your position. Set your stops accordingly. If it hits a stop, let it. And people say, well, you know it's going to go against you. Why didn't you cut it early? And I'm like, yeah, I know it's going to hit my stop and stop me out, but that's part and parcel of it. Is that I'm going to let it play out. If it hits my stop, like Grnd today, I could have cut it when I was 2,000 down, and it went down to 4,000 down. I put my stop at low of day. Low of the pre-market low. If it beats the pre-market low, it was selling off. That was my mentality. That was the logic behind it all. And when it did, it stopped me out for like a $4,000 loss. I was okay with that, and I actually made that back on the trade. The other trade that I was actually trading, Satara, I think it was. So make sure that you adhere to your strategy. Deviating from your strategy, watching me every day. Whenever I deviate from my strategy, you should have learned by now that I lose money. and I do lose money. I have losing days, and I've had big losing days live on the channel. I think the biggest loss I've had was about $65,000 in a single trade, which was me holding on to a trade too long because I was too stubborn to let it go. Now, there's a couple of people, but I think it's Imran on YouTube. He keeps coming on. I'm stuck in a trade. I'm stuck in a losing position. Nobody's ever stuck in a losing position unless the stock halted. If you're too slow to get out before it halts, and it halts downwards, then you're stuck in a losing position. That's the only time you're stuck in a losing position. Otherwise, you get out. As soon as that resumes, you get out. The only thing that makes you stuck in a losing position is your own mentality and your own stubbornness. And as human beings, we are stubborn. We don't like to be wrong. So if you cut early, if it goes and rallies after you've cut it, fine, you can get back in and you miss some of the move. That's fine. But if you cut early, you'll find you become a much more profitable trader if you cut your losses early. That risk-reward ratio, if we go back to my statistics again here, I'll just do that again so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So go back to my statistics here. So this is the risk reward for November, okay? A risk reward ratios here. So 204,000 in terms of gains versus 114,000 in terms of losses. If you, I could put that on the annual, but it's a similar kind of thing. So what I'm doing there is I'm trying to maximize my winning positions, so I make more money as they move up. But I'm also trying to minimize my losing position. So if it's going against me and it doesn't break out when I expect it to break out, I should be cutting it at the level. So as I'm entering a trade, I'm planning the trade, and I need to have a take profit in mind and a stop loss in mind. If it hits the stop loss, I cut the trade. I can always get in later. If I'm just premature in terms of my entry, that does happen. If I'm just premature in terms of my entry, I can always get in at a later stage and ride it up for the move if I am actually right in my assumption with the trade. But cutting it early is going to make you money. Riding it. So one thing I do when this screws up my my ratios a little bit is I have a take profit in mind. And what I do is as I get to that take profit, and then instantly I will take half of my position off. I'll lock in some gains at that stage, and then I'll move my stop up to break even. So if it reverses, I'm then effectively getting out at break even on the second portion of that trade. And regardless of what happens, it's a profitable trade. That's when it moves up and hits my... Now, the idea is not that I can get stopped out for break even. The idea is that if it continues to move up beyond my take profit level, I've still got a portion of my trade in there that I can go on and take advantage of that. And if it continues to move up, I can then scale back in, and I'm getting discounted by buying more shares and getting in. I'm getting discounted rates to get in. So that's the idea there. So yeah, that's me done for the day, guys. So I'm going to head off and have a cup of tea, as I say, maybe a snack, and I'll be back tomorrow 90 minutes before the market opens. So in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening, guys.